السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I wanted to piggyback on the conversation that Imam was talking about, one of the pieces of the conversation that Imam was talking about on Yom al-Jum'ah. And he briefly mentioned that we're entering into the month of Ramadan and that the shayateen, that they are chained, right? We've heard this hadith every time we enter into the month of Ramadan, that the shayateen, the devils, they are chained, the doors of the hellfire has been closed, right? Just to further the conversation, one of the questions that I got asked recently is that why is it that we continue to commit more sins? Why is it that we still see ourselves engaged in bad behaviors, right? And I just wanted to provide a synopsis of just a glimpse of what we should understand from the handiwork of the devil, Ash-Shaytan, Bismillahi alayhi. The Shaytan had been created even before our father Adam alayhi salam was created. So he has seen it all. He knows all the tricks in the world, right? He's smart. He's not a foolish person. He's not a foolish jinn. He's a smart jinn. He knows that the month of Ramadan comes. He knows that himself and his entourage, they will be prevented from being able to do many things, right? So what does he do instead? He automates his process. We hear about automation these days, business automation and all of that. The shaitan automates his own process to ensure that by the time we get into the month of Ramadan, even though they are chained, all their works would continue to go on. So the shaitan knows those acts that he can potentially get the believers to commit to, and they become grounded in it, and it becomes like an addiction. So even though the shaitan becomes changed and their entourage, the addiction still continues. That is the problem now. That is where we need to fight our own nafs, our own self. All right, and there are three types of nafs, but I'm not going in that direction today. We need to then do jihad in nafs. We have to strive against our nafs, not necessarily to give it what it wants, rather to give it what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to give it. All right, and I wanted to just hang one of the hadiths of the Prophet ﷺ with this conversation. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ tells us in a beautiful hadith that was narrated by Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him. He said that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Inna Allah tayyibun wa la yaqbalu illa tayyiba. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is good. He is good in his attributes. He is good in his names. He is good in his action. He is good in what he decides for us and what he prevents us or warns us against. Allah is good in all of the things that he does. We may not understand it. We may not know the wisdom behind it. However, inna Allah tayyibu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is good and he is perfect in all of the things that he does. وَلَا يَقْبَلْ إِلَّا tayyiba. And he never accepts anything except that thing is also good. It is from the attribute of Allah that he is good, so he only accepts things that are good. If you're going to observe your salah, for example, and you use a dirty water, a polluted water to make wudu, your wudu is not valid, salah will not be valid. Do you get the concept of tayyib, right? So Prophet Muhammad furthered that hadith, and he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded the believers with the same thing that he had commanded the prophet with. And Prophet Muhammad quoted two short verses, all right, in this hadith. Ya ayyuhar rusul qulu min at-tayyibat wa'malu salihah, right? O messengers, eat from things that are good, things that are pure, and ensure that you engage in righteous deeds. I want to get to the end of the hadith because Prophet Muhammad said in the end of the hadith, he paints a picture of a scenario of a man that falls within the category of a person that his or her dua would be answered at all occasions. Number one, a person that's a traveler. We know that the prayer of a traveler is an accepted prayer, right? The prayer of a person that's desperate, filled with dust, that person's prayer is accepted. The prayer of a person that opens their hand to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is shy not to answer that prayer. So this person falls within the category of a person that their dua should be accepted. Yamud yada ila sama. All right, the person spreads their hands looking up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the person says, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabb. The person calls upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sincerely makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Wa mat'amuhu haram. This person that falls within the tenets of a person that their dua will be answered, the food that they're eating is from haram. وَمَشْرَبُ haram. The things that they drink and this means of getting those things that they drink is from haram. وَمَلْبَسُ haram. The clothes that they wear is from haram. It could mean that the type of clothes that they wear or the resources they use to acquire or procure those resources, those clothes, is from haram. وَعُزِّيَ بِالْحَرَامِ. And they've been nourished with haram. The Prophet ends the hadith with asking a question, فَأَنَّ يُسْتَجَابُ لِذَلِكَ. How would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer the prayer of a person like that? This is for us to reflect on our condition when we call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In what condition are we in? What type of food are we eating? How did we get the money for the food? What type of drinks are we drinking? How did we get the resources to buy those drinks? The clothes that you wear, where did you get the money from? People think that they can go gamble, they play the lottery, and then when they get the money from that, they will then pay zakat or give the masjid to build. You're wasting your time. That money is not tayyib. The money is not a clean, good money, so you're not getting the reward for it. Everything goes back to the origin. Allah is not in need of you and I. Rather, you and I are in dire need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let us look at our conditions and ensure that we are aligning with the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's Prophet. By the mercy of Allah, our prayers will be answered. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.